Congressman Peter King, he's one of the good ones down there, man. He's representing Long Island and kind enough to join us this early in the morning. Congressman, welcome back to the show, sir.
Joe, it's always great to be with you. A voice of sanity.
Yeah.
That says something when you're the voice of sanity.
I'm trying. So help me goodness gracious. I'm trying, Congressman. It is. I don't know how you stay as good a guy you are. You keep upbeat and you cut through all of that down there in Washington. I don't. It's impossible. And then walk me through this with this bail reform thing. Are they letting? And I heard this as a rumor. And maybe you could verify it, Congressman, that more of these MS-13, you have done such a brilliant job with Lee Zeldin and certainly with President Trump, shutting down MS-13 in Long Island. Now with these new laws in New York State, are they getting back onto the streets, sir?
Several of those that are in the state prison system, yes. MS-13, the Bloods, the Crips, they're getting out. Now, I know that the feds and the local police did a massive raid a few weeks ago, and they got over 75 or 80 of them.
Yeah.
They had to do it in such a way that they would get around these bail requirements, or there's no bail requirements. No, this is a real concern. I mean, on Long Island, there's been a large number of gang members have been released back onto the streets, including MS-13. Now, this is disgraceful. And including, for instance, there's this one woman, she was arrested, I guess, 2 or 3 times, immediately for assaulting people on the street, not a gang member, just assaulting people on the street. She was, I think, arrested 2 or 3 times, released immediately, and then
right.
The local guy who owns a 7-Eleven, she came in through a rock through his window.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, these are people just, it's insane, it really is. No, but the MS-13 is a real danger. We have to, the fact that the state assembly Democrats are saying they're not going to reform this no bail act they passed is insanity. I mean, there were some, straight-thinking Democrats that want to change it, but overall the leadership doesn't want to. They're pandering to the left. They're pandering to the progressives.
Yeah.
And again, these are the same people who are anti-police, anti-cop, and always find some excuses when people commit crimes. But MS-13. I put it in very blunt terms. They are not going into white middle-income communities. The people they are hurting are the immigrant community.
That's right.
The Central American immigrant community is being terrorized by MS-13. So supposedly the advocates for these hardworking people in these communities, they are hurting the very people they claim they're trying to help. It's the people in the immigrant communities who are being terrorized by MS-13.
And then you told me, Peter, this, and I've talked to you about this before, and I asked you to repeat it over and over again because this was so scary. When you told me at dinner and when we were at Michael's of Brooklyn with John Katzimatidis, you said these monsters in MS-13, they know who the people are in school, and they know where they come from, they know where they live in like Central America or where they came from, and then they say, we're going to get your family back in South or Central America. Is that right?
No, absolutely. That's the type of terror that they hold.
Wow. Wow.
And there's no real reason almost, not that there's any reason to be in a gang, but there's not, we're not talking about money, we're not talking about narcotics, we're not talking about women. This is just killing for the sake of killing.
Yeah.
Cutting people up and pieces and sending videos to the families, and it's horrible.
And you've
animals, they really are.
And you've done such a great job. And then this is why when I see what President Trump does, or I see what you have done as a Republican, I'm really like an independent. Yet you clean it up. And correct me if I'm wrong here. Before we get to, I want to talk about other things happening in D.C., sir. But this is really local to us here in New York. Aren't they this bail reform, letting criminals back on the street? And off mic, me and Frank and Al were just talking. You could go instant by instant what they're trying to do. Letitia James now going after the AG, going after the NYPD because they're profiling in the subway, for crying out loud. This will happen if we elect a Democrat, and I hate to say it, if we elect, let me put it this way, Congressman, a progressive socialist as president, this will be on the national platform. Am I right?
Absolutely, and we saw it several years ago with Colin Kaepernick, with Case and Ferguson. Staten Island.
Yeah.
It's always you blame the cops. You blame the cops.
Yeah.
But somehow it's considered not just acceptable, but they demand it. The left-wing progressives, and we see it in New York. I mean, there's no doubt that the numbers of homeless are going up, that crime is going up, and it's again the NYPD does a great job at it's only a matter of time before the dam breaks. When you have all this pressure being put on you by the progressive left, tying the hands of cops, you're going to find cops, first of all, are going to be reluctant to do their job. Afraid if they do their job, somebody's going to be taking a video, take it out of context, and they're going to be put on trial, or they're going to be scapegoated, or they're going to be terrorized at home.
Yeah, Donald, we appreciate your fight, Congressman. And then you got to deal with this impeachment fiasco. They won't let it go because they want to they're trying to push Joe Biden in. I mean, we see it clear as day. And now if Nancy Pelosi, a matter of fact, I don't know how you, Congressman, I don't know how you deal with it. God bless you. You're such a good guy. If I would get so crazy down there when you see Pelosi and Adam Schiff and Jerry Nadler and all these guys down there, they're not gonna let this impeachment situation go away, are they?
No, they decided the day after election in 2016 that Donald Trump was going to be impeached, and they were certain they were going to be able to show it with Russia, even though there was never anything there. That turned out to be zero. So now they went to Ukraine. There's been nothing there showing at all. It's impeachable. You can agree or disagree about the phone call, whatever it is. It's not impeachable. And also ignored in all this is they say that President Trump is digging for dirt on Joe Biden. Well, first of all, Bob Mueller was looking for dirt on Donald Trump for 2.5 years, and people thought that was great. But to me, is it dirt to say that the son of the Vice President of the United States is getting over $1 million for not doing anything in a country where the Vice President was supposed to be looking for corruption? That is a very, very legitimate investigation. But having said all that, no, they want to keep this impeachment going. And the irony is they raced it through the House without subpoenaing witnesses or anything else because the president was a clear and present danger. We had to get rid of President Trump. Yep. There was no time to waste. Yep. Well, now the articles of impeachment have been sitting there for almost a month and nothing being done about it. And President Trump is still the president. So, listen, it's a disgrace. It's going to be looked back on as really a dark chapter in American life. But how President Trump keeps going, you talk about me going, I have nothing to worry about. The President of the United States, this guy's under siege every day, and he keeps going. And last night he was at the National Championship football game, getting a great ovation.
I know.
He loves to fight, and he's fighting for us, thank God.
I know. It's so funny. He's not even breathing heavy. You're absolutely right, Congressman. Also, I got to ask you about, before we let you go, Congressman, you were part of the march against anti-Semitism in Mineola over the weekend. Why do you think, and why... I can't even verbalize it, Peter. I speak to you as a friend and as a diehard New Yorker who always sticks up for, the Jewish community and certainly the state of Israel. Where are we? How did we get here? Why is the Democratic Party so anti-Semitic? And why are these anti-Semitic, the uptick in anti-Semitic crimes in New York, of all places, sir?
It comes from all directions. There are white nationalists involved in New York. Every one of those, every recent anti-Semitic act obviously is not being carried out by a white nationalist. It's coming from certain elements in the African-American community, just as there are certain elements in the white community. So this is something that's widespread. I think one of the reasons, too, though, is we hear so much anti-Israel talk coming from the BDS movement on the campuses and schools. And usually in the past, whenever anti-Semitism rises, and there's never an excuse for it, my God, but it comes from this bad economy, people are suffering. Well, people are not suffering today. And yet you have this anti-Semitism. I just think that there's a decline in morality in society overall, and anti-Semitism is a symbol of that. The Jewish community has suffered so much over the centuries. And, growing up in New York, New Jersey, where we see the tremendous achievements and accomplishments of the Jewish American community, what a vital part of the American fabric they are, we have to all speak out against it. And we have, again, members of Congress making anti-Semitic remarks. We have the BDS movement on campuses. And they say it's anti-Israel, but it emerges right into anti-Semitism and helps create this atmosphere. And there's also people, to be honest, on the white national side who just have this historical hatred of Jews. That's horrible. Well, one feeds off the other. And we're going to have a hearing today on anti-Semitism in the House. Again, I hope that certain Democrats don't say this is all because of Donald Trump. I mean, the attack in Jersey City was not caused by Donald Trump. The attack in Muncie was not caused by Donald Trump. I mean, this is absurd. Also, we should give, as far as a shout out, in Jersey City, one of the first cops in to stop that was Bernie Kerrick's son, the former Commissioner Bernie Carrick.
Yeah, that was, you know what, we saw that, and Bernie's son is on the SWAT team in Newark, and Newark came over to Jersey City and helped out, and they went in, they plowed down that deli, and they took out.
I mean, I'm going into details. Bernie's son could have had the easiest, best job in all of New Jersey policing. He didn't want it. He wanted the toughest he could get, and he got it, and he did the job.
Point well made, Congressman. Congressman Peter King, he is the man. Keep the fight, Congressman. Love having you on the show, Peter. Our love to Rosemary and the family, and let's talk soon, my friend.
We'll see you at Michael's one of these days.
Love it. Let's do it again. Michael's in Brooklyn. Absolutely. Thank you, Congressman. Congressman Peter King right there.